The word capacity, especially in the context of an organization, has a completely different meaning depending on where a person is positioned in that organization. So on any given day, there are at least 4 or 5 different altitudes of capacity that are operating at the same time. And all of them constitute a genuine version of current reality. These conflicting versions, right, all of them needing to be managed and tended to, that's what keeps you leaders on your toes. So let us walk through this together. Let's think about where an executive stands, right? From this altitude, capacity looks like a portfolio, budgets, headcounts, the big opportunities in front of us. The questions at this altitude are, can we take on new innovation, or can we change direction in our strategy? And the answer feels like a matter of resources and will, but it may actually look like from here that there's room. So if the numbers say there's room, there's room. But now let's drop down a level. Here's capacity that stops being a number and starts being a negotiation. It's about trade-offs between functions, about whose priorities win when there isn't enough to go around. At this level, a VP or a director may be able to see something that the executive can't quite see, that the room upstairs was already spoken for down here. Okay, drop again to the manager. And this is where capacity gets a face. It's no longer budgets or trade-offs. It's Maria, who's already covering the 2 open positions, and James, who's quietly burning out, and a team being asked to absorb 1 more change on top of the last 3 that never fully landed. The manager isn't experiencing capacity as a strategy question. They're experiencing it as the daily physical work of protecting the people who are already stretched. Okay, drop once more to the individual contributor. At this altitude, capacity isn't abstract at all. It's whether they have the time, the clarity, and the confidence to do the work that's in front of them. It's the gap between what's being asked and what they can actually feel equipped to deliver. And this is often the layer where the exhaustion is most real and the least visible from above. So I'm not saying leaders don't care. I'm saying this level is often hard to see. And then there's one more position, the one we sometimes forget to stand in, right? The customer, the student, the patient, the member, the person the entire organization exists to serve. They never see your capacity directly, but they feel it, right? They feel it in whether the thing works or whether anyone follows through, whether they're met by an organization that has room for them or one that's running on empty. Here's the framing that I want to offer you. Every one of those people is describing the same organization's capacity, and every one of them is right. The executive who says there's room and the manager who says we're maxed out, they're not disagreeing. They're standing at different altitudes, right? And they're seeing different true things, and neither can see the whole from where they stand. This is why capacity conversations sometimes go sideways. A leadership team looks at the top altitude, right? They see room, and then they commit the organization to something that 3 levels down, where the work is actually happening, they never felt like there was room at all. Nobody lied, nobody miscounted. They were just looking from different heights and assuming, right, that everyone saw what they saw. So the move for any of you who lead is not to find the one true altitude. There isn't one. The move is to remember that your view is a view, not the view. To go find out what capacity looks like 3 levels down from where you sit before you decide that there's room. And then to build the habit as a team of asking not just what does the strategy require, but what does this look like from every altitude it's going to pass through? Because it's going to pass through all of them, whether you looked or not. Capacity depends on where you're standing. So the very best leaders learn to stand in more than one place.